Hey, I'm Matthew Duncan from the Coin Shop Podcast, joined together with my brother Kenny Duncan Jr. We have a very special show for you today. We're going to talk about the scam of the week, best buy of the week, and we're also going to get into one of our hiring processes and how it kind of turned out for us. So,
Not good.
But we're also going to get into our very special guest with John Feigenbaum, and that's gonna be later on the show. So, tune in.
Yeah, tune in. I mean, that's all you can do is just tune in. Thank you guys for your continued support, right?
Right.
Nice.
All right, so let's get right into it. So
let's do it.
We decided that we needed to move our shipping.
Well, we gave him a promotion basically.
Yeah. So we promoted our shipping guy.
Yeah.
He's head of all of our shipping, and we decided we need to go out and find someone else to kind of cover his role. They're not going to be able to do it exactly like him, but
let's talk about how he got there though.
Let's
talk about how he got there, because I think sometimes coin shops are built on people wearing multiple hats.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
You're not only, part owner, but you're also buyer.
Yep.
You know the paper very well.
Mm-hmm.
You price most of the watches.
Yep.
You're pretty much over the whole thing, right?
Yeah, so you wear many hats.
Wearing many hats all day long, right? And our whole company was built on that next man up mentality, and also that where can I fit in or how can I help mentality.
Yeah.
If we hired you as being a counter guy, if shipping's busy in the back, then I expect your butt to be back in there shipping, right?
Yeah.
It's whatever needs to be done in that moment, and we try to teach everyone else's job just in case something unfortunate happens and that person has to step in.
Yeah.
So basically, we saw something in Anthony, our shipping guy, that we really liked.
Yeah.
Right?
We did, yeah.
And after hitting our head, so it was really, I don't know if it was Anthony or was it the fact that every time we tried to hire somebody for inventory, it was an absolute disaster.
Yeah, because we figured out that it was a bigger job than just one person or two people. It had to be done by multiple.
And then a specific person, because some people, so we went through two or three different candidates that we actually hired on, and they just did not get it. They didn't understand the business. They didn't understand the work ethic. They didn't understand. They wanted to sit back, kick their feet up on the desk, and count a few things a day. Yeah. Well, that's not our coin shop.
No, and you have to be super organized, and that's what Anthony has. He's got his Excel. He makes those lists. He does everything that needs to be done to do the shipping perfectly, but also it kind of correlates with what we want done in our inventory.
Exactly.
And that's why it was an easy move for him to move up to the inventory position.
But
so
it left a gaping hole in shipping, right?
Yeah, it definitely did. And so we had to come up with some hiring procedures. We had a few candidates. We hired a headhunter that helped us out. Yeah. And
who has helped us out in the past and who has been very beneficial in being able to place accountants, different support staff, but inventory has been an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
An absolute nightmare. Imagine inventory in a coin shop being a nightmare.
No, it is. And we don't always hire within our industry.
Yeah.
Right. So we look for family, friends of family, and then when that
family of family.
Yeah, family of family, and then there's no one else to pick. You got to go and you got to look out elsewhere. Right. So we ran into, we had two candidates that we were trying to choose for this job, this role, and we sat down multiple times, went over their resumes, had a couple really good interviews.
Yeah,
I thought.
Yeah, the resumes when y'all sent them to me and I looked at them, I was out of town. I think, right?
You were out of town for the first one.
Yeah,
and that's what I was gonna check on. So everyone had a great. You're never gonna read anything bad on a resume.
Yeah,
but what you can see is blocks of time that are missing.
Yeah,
right. So you'll start looking at it in little gaping holes, and you can say, okay, well. Because a lot of these guys, they're going to pass the background checks and everything, but they're going to pass for your state where you're at. They might not pass in other states, and that's where I believe this individual the one that we picked, went through multiple backgrounds with us and with the headhunter. And when we were having him start is when we came up with the information that he actually did have a part in his past where he had a felony, right?
Let's rewind a little bit.
Yeah, rewind it. Yeah, because I skipped the other guy.
So no, it's okay. Yeah. No, so the way I see it is I've been using the same headhunter for probably 5 or 6 years now. Mm-hmm. They were not able to secure or fill this spot for us, right? They tried numerous times and we just never got on the same page. Now, I trusted their process and background check, so I never really did my own research. Yeah. When it was brought to me that we could use another headhunter, I personally, it's not that I didn't trust her, but just to make sure, I had a couple other people run their background. Sure. Right? And then we have our head of security. That before anybody's hired, they have to pass, basically an interview with the head of security. Yep. And they have to pass all of his. And he's a former detective and, former police officer and peace officer. Just an overall sharp, great guy. He did some extra digging. I threw up a few concerns during the second interviews, right? During the questioning, so a piece of advice is, don't hold back when you're about to bring somebody in your business, right? And I know that's easy to say, and a lot of people are like, oh, of course I'm not going to. But, I really dug into these guys, and really was asking really tough questions about these blank spaces in their employment where, they either graduated high school or college. A lot of people go immediately into the workforce, right? And then they start building credibility. Yeah. These guys had 3 years missing, 6 years missing, 5 years missing, immediately throws up red flags. Right. When we started to dig, we found felonies on the one guy who made it to our second interview. He should have never even been in the room. Yeah. Right. Then the other guy we hired, and we find out the second day here, we finally get some information back from California that led us. Yeah. Yeah. We basically had to fire him on the spot. Yeah. Well,
we did ask him point blank.
Oh, he lied. He lied to us.
And he lied. So, I mean, we're always... We'll hear it out, right? Man, right. Listen. We'll definitely hear it out, but if
everybody makes mistakes, no one's perfect.
There's no reason
makes mistakes, but give us the opportunity to make the decision with a clear conscience, right? Give us the opportunity to talk about it. It needs to at least be a dialogue, right? Yeah. And if you don't give us the fairness to be able to, sleep on that and see if that's something that we can get past or get over, then shame on you.
Yeah.
Right? If you lie, bold-faced lie, I don't feel bad about firing you for 1 second.
No, but we're in such a trusted business that, if someone's lying at the beginning, it's not good. That's not a good start. And that's not someone we can have as an employee.
No, we're out.
Too many.
We've got too many employees these days to worry about things like that. Right? And that's why we've got security and we've got these things. So, that the reason why we're telling you this, and this is something that we kind of battled with really talking about, was we don't want people to make that same mistake, right? It's easy to take people at face value, and it's easy to look at their resume, and for us, we've been hiring and have been in this hiring process for the last couple of years pretty strong, so it's kind of become a part of what we do. Sure, but it doesn't make it any more comfortable, and it's really tough to do. It's really tough to move forward when people are lying off the jump, right? It's just, especially in...
Yeah, it's very distasteful.
Just tell the truth. Yeah. And,
just because it takes so much time to get to that point. Well, how many hours that we spend on that?
Hours. Yeah. Julie spent hours. We have other people, then the background checks. And then, and really one of the reasons why I thought it was important was because if you do a local or you do a county background check or you do a statewide background check, that's not enough. If you're going to bring somebody into your house, bring somebody into your business, that's your livelihood, that feeds your family and your friends or your employees, then you have to really do your due diligence. And that's just not by buying some $9.99 subscription to publicdata.com. Yeah. That's really, really, really trying to get somebody, spend $100 or $200 to get a professional to run a, what's the federal,
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of that.
There's a name for the federal one, but it took some real steel cutting to even get
that information.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
it wasn't easy. Like
no,
we pulled strings to get that done.
Yeah.
All right. So I just want to make sure that people realize, like, if you run a $49 background check on somebody, yeah, maybe it makes you feel good in the moment, but make sure it's state to state, county to county, and make sure you're really running these guys through the ringer. Okay. You got to really, because these guys will boldface lie right to your face.
Yeah. And you got to ask the questions
2 out of 2.
too.
We had 2 out of 2.
Yeah. 2 out of 2 in the same week.
Same week.
Yeah. So
and the one guy, I asked him straight up, I was like, hey man, listen, you got a 7-year gap here.
Yep. It's the first, we were sitting there talking and you walked in and that's the first thing you saw.
And he told me, he's like, oh, I went to work with my aunt. For 7 years, you went to work with your aunt? Like, geez Louise, could she corroborate that story or anybody? Like, so immediately he was off my list right then and there. That guy was gone.
We still ran a check on him and obviously it came up.
It came up.
Yeah. So,
but that was fast.
Yeah, that was super fast.
So another thing that we talked about this in passing was that, maybe do a form where you're getting their ID immediately. And before you even go down that path, you're not spinning your wheels or wasting your time or really kind of already putting your faith in somebody before they really start. Because for me, the hiring process is more of like a relief when it's over. You're like, man, thank God that's over. We've got somebody. Now we can start putting our focus and attention on getting him up to speed.
Sure.
Instead, you're spinning your wheels. We're trying to figure out this guy's lying to you or not. I'm just out, right? That's not a healthy way to do things. No. So we wanted to share that experience with you.
We did, and it was good for us too. We added some things to our employee handbook, which is super important to have. Yeah, so.
The business is an ever changing thing, right? People always ask, well. Or even our own employees sometimes. Well, you said this last week. Yeah, last week was last week. Yeah. This business is a thing. It's a living, breathing thing that's it's constantly changing, right? Yeah. And the faster that people understand and accept that and move on, the better off you're going to be as an employee.
Sure.
If you sit there and you want to hold your boss to what he said last week in a moving market to be today's piece, it's not going to be that way all the time.
No, and that's why
some people really getting their feelings over.
Got to be a team player. It's not about trying to keep people on their toes. It's more, we're a team, and the team has to work together. And whenever someone's making comments like that, that's not team thinking.
No,
that's. No.
You have to know what the playing field is. You have to know what you're signing up for, right? Yeah. And that's going to be, if you're in a business that's thriving. Even though our market's not thriving right now, we're still finding ways to make it happen. Yeah. And those are the type of people we want to add to our team. And those are the people that we're going to carry when things aren't great.
Yeah. Store gets slow. Yeah. What are they doing? Are they talking? They're hanging out on the phone? No. They're working on different deals, trying to sell inventory.
Hitting your customers up.
Working with their customers, selling big coins.
Specials, emails, social media.
Working on our pricing stuff for the website, which, can definitely bottles up a little bit every now and then, but no, I mean, not as much as it used to. So So that was a good,
It was the first time that we really promoted within, right? And it was almost like we were forced to promote from within because we couldn't find anybody on the outside that was bearish enough to take on this whole inventory element. Yeah, it's tough.
No, it's tough,
right?
Yeah, it's tough.
Sometimes the people kind of get seated in their old ways and like things, you think that you guys are on the same page and things are just not really flowing. So we took somebody who we felt like had the most important thing was, and you said it earlier, was being organized. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And just
super organized. Yeah.
Their version of clean and our version of clean were the same things.
Yeah. Right? Spreadsheets on each count. Yeah. Knew exactly where every piece of every package that went out of our building knew exactly where it was at all times.
Yeah.
Yeah. So kudos to you, Anthony. Appreciate you.
Thumbs up, seal of approval.
So
that was kind of like our blended scam of the week. We got scammed by people we were trying to feed.
Yep.
Pretty jacked up.
Yeah.
But, it happens. What do? You move on, you learn from it. Like you said, we made a couple entries into our handbook and, that thing's growing.
It is growing.
It's growing. So what else we got?
Yeah. So we purchased a couple really cool things and we did see a customer take a pretty big loss that he's working on right now.
Really?
Yeah. So let's get into that. So we had a customer walk in, and this has happened before. So if you've run into this in your shop, I'm sure you've tried to help your customers go back and get their money. So we had a customer bring in a couple gold bars that he had bought online, and they were not from a trusted source, and they came back fake on our spectrometer. So we put them in our assay machine, and they were plated. So he obviously thought they were real. He was shocked.
But what made him come in to check them? Curious.
He wanted to sell them.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he was trying to sell them. So
Is this a guy we know?
This is a guy that we haven't done business with before, but he was a referral. So we did let him. So typically when this happens in the store, that's why we do have the Bruker, and we have that tablet that gives you all the readings.
Of course.
So
Bruker
we had him
the spectrometer, right?
Spectrometer, yeah. So we had him. We put the bar on there. He took a photo of the bar and the tablet together, and he'll use that. This was through a source on eBay that had just had the best price. He didn't have the back. He didn't have the reviews and all the 5-star, all the great power selling, and that's what happened.
How much did he save? $20?
Yeah, he tried to save some money, and it ended up getting burned.
Don't be cheap, people.
But the good thing about eBay is that with those photos, they're very vigilant on helping you get your money back. So he can take that, he can get his money back, and hopefully he'll be able to next time go with the source for selling bars and coins. I mean, wherever you got to deal with someone reputable. So, if you don't have anyone reputable, there's plenty of people online, and that's why, I mean,
or your local coin shop.
I was gonna say, or you can go to your local coin shop. If you do buy something, we're always willing 100% to help the customer out. Just test his gold that he bought from someone else.
Yeah.
So
no, we test gold almost daily for people. They didn't buy it from us, but we don't.
Typically turns into customers.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you're trustworthy.
So,
we're very transparent about the way we do that stuff. So it's pretty black and white.
Yeah. So, bad situation for him, but we gained a customer, and we're going to help him get his money back. So
it's
good,
sweet. Yeah.
Good turnout for everyone, but a loss for right now, for loss of the week.
So I hear that story, and I could think two things. A, don't try to save $10 a bar and buy from somebody that doesn't have, like a track record of doing good business.
Sorry for all you Craigslist sellers out there.
and number two is that guy could be in on the scam and could be trying to scam us.
Definitely.
And you got to watch 100% these guys too, because
that's going to happen.
Some of these guys' stories are good.
Yeah, it's going to happen for sure.
I'm surprised he didn't say he bought them from us.
Yeah.
Because that's
that's why you have the machines.
Yeah, that's true.
You say that actually
everything that
no
comes
possible
in,
way, because we check everything that comes in, and so
a few different methods, not just spectrometer, right?
No, we have the key testers. We have all of it. So, and plus we get to see we get to see a lot of coins. So that always helps.
The fakes normally stand out.
Yeah,
even the really good ones. Or
intuition
people think that are really good.
Will tell you right away. So without even having to put it in there, but you do it just so you can say, hey, look at this machine.
The dog and pony show.
Yeah.
Gotta
do
it.
All right. So so then we had so that was scam of the week. We had a pretty cool piece of paper money come in that I bought. So I want to share that with y'all. I have it behind me on the wall. So this is a super cool note because it has, let me get it out of here. This is a super cool note because it has gold coins, vintage U.S. coins on the back. It even says on the front, Gold Bank. This has one Freeburg, but it has multiple charters. So, but super cool note. They're scarce in all grades. The paper has like a yellow tint to it.
Yeah.
You can see it. But
tell our viewers at home or our listeners at home what a Freeburg is.
Yeah, so Freeburg is it's a reference number. Freeburg is a really great guide for paper money. It has some pricing and has some great information, but these FR numbers that you see on these holders, can't see my cover up? No. So those numbers actually do mean something, and those reference the note and also the signatures. So typically, you could look something up with that number on auctions or, past auction archival. or in the green sheet. And then that will give you a number based also on the grade. So, super interesting, but cool note. Like I said, really good ink. It's got really good portrait on it. And, one of the coolest things about this note is that they don't really come in high grades. This Freeburg has the finest for PMG was an XF40.
Wow.
In their population.
Really?
So, yeah.
So
for a VF25,
really cool.
that's, yeah. So, that's a,
so it's got all pre-33 gold.
that's a $15,000
$3
plus note.
pieces.
So, yeah. But usually when we get them in, they're damaged. They have comments on them. That's a problem-free, no comment note. So, just super cool example, and can't buy enough of them. Can't place enough of them with your customers.
So what is this worth?
So this note's like an $18,000 with no comments, I think, today.
Cool.
Yeah, they've been going up. The last auction we did buy one, a 35 EPQ, which was really nice for our customer. That was a $30,000 note.
Okay.
So
cool.
Yeah.
No, that's really cool. I like it.
Yeah. So yeah,
what's the note with the silver dollars on the back?
Oh yeah, 1886. 1886 has a silver dollars, silver certificate.
Okay.
Yeah, but
I'm not a paper money guy.
Yeah,
sorry, but I think it's really cool. That note is awesome.
Yeah, one of the top. That's the cool thing about paper money. It's a pretty scarce note. Compared to coins, there's only 146 in PMG's population report for this Freeburg. So, not a lot of notes out there. Of course, you have different charters and things like that. But so really cool note. Wanted to share it with y'all. It will be available on our website, uscoinsandjewelry.com. So now tune in. We're getting with our very special guest,